Hello and welcome to episode 245 of the Perth to Paisley podcast, a podcast primarily dedicated to the first team to secure their spot in the 2026-27 UEFA Europa Conference League phase. By God, that's a mouthful. Heart of Midlothian Football Club. Joining me, Adam Kennedy, to discuss a good night in Vienna for the Jambos is Daniel McIver. McIver, have you dropped down off the ceiling yet?
Nah, I really haven't. I couldn't. You can't really articulate what last night was like, to be honest. I think it's like the best European moment in our lives
Wow.
because we were too young to remember and be aware of Basel and Bordeaux and stuff like that. Obviously, we have won in this competition against like Ammonia Nicosia, Riga, and stuff like that. But just what it meant having to actually win games to get into a European tournament, to do it away from home when you're 1-0 down with 10 men, just and then doing it on penalties where your keeper saving penalties. It's right up there with like one of the my favorite nights I've ever had as a Hearts fan. It was just unbelievable. How are you?
Good. I had kind of a similar discussion with pals and just, other jambos that I know. Do you think this is our best result post-admin? Because I think for me it probably is.
Yes. Yes, definitely. Definitely.
And that's been a long time. That's been a
Yeah.
long time coming. Um, I yeah, I could not have asked for just a better way that played out completely because that game had pretty much everything in terms of not getting too high, not being too low, and then just drama, a red card. The only thing that was missing was a penalty, but even then we got a penalty shootout at the end. Like just absolute carnage.
Yeah.
Um, and thankfully we've come out on top. I I'm just relieved that had we crashed out of the Champions League, the Europa League, and the Conference League all in the one season before our Scottish Premiership season is pretty much underway. We've only played two games. That would have been a bit of a beamer. But thankfully, we are going to have some European fixtures to look forward to, both home and away. So I hope people are taking their passports out as we speak.
100%. Because, yeah, I mean, how embarrassing would it be to not even qualify for the Conference League?
And how embarrassing would it be to, I guess, lose a playoff tie in Austria? I mean, particularly when you have like a 4-0 advantage, that would be really quite
Yeah.
tragic.
If you get beat 4-0 in Austria, that's fine because there's like a massive disparity between teams and everything like that. But if you go 4-0 up with like less than an hour left and your
Yeah.
budget, playing squad, club generally like massively overpower the opposition and then you still get beat, that's like an all timer.
Not
Imagine if
not to
both those things happened within 48 hours of each other as
Well, I
well.
was going to say, and not to mention, obviously, pissing away that prize money from entering, the creme de la
Yeah.
creme of the UEFA Champions League. Still, shame. Um, this feels so good, doesn't it? Just
Finally!
a
It's been like
fuck
three and
you.
a half
Yeah.
months of shite! And we finally have someone to be like, we're actually here. Fuck yous.
Do you know what it is? It's not even like the Old Firm fans per se, because obviously Rangers fans were desperate to see us try and pip Celtic to the league. Celtic we've just got a dislike for anyway because they just clean up. But
Yeah.
it's even just the little weasels like your Hibs fans and your Aberdeen fans, just a massive ram that right down your throat. So pleasing.
I mean,
And
in
as you say,
fairness, Hibs could be with us as well.
they
We
could,
don't know.
but who cares? I mean,
Fair.
brilliant. You've reached a European group stage for the first time in your history. Congratulations. But I think, like, the magnitude of what we've done as well, given you've kind of briefly touched on it, Scottish teams' records in knockout ties is historically woeful. Did you
Yeah.
see the Scotland's coefficient stuff last night?
Unbelievable.
The first
Like,
time that a
unbelievable.
non-Old Firm team has qualified via a knockout tie since 2007.
Yeah.
Aberdeen,
Um,
51 attempts since by 11 different clubs.
yeah. Hearts are just the second
Crazy.
club ever to reach a UEFA Group League slash league phase without winning any of their six qualifying matches. 4-0, 2-0, 6-1, 1-all, 2 each, 2 each. They also became the ninth Scottish club to win a tie despite having a player sent off in the second leg, and the first since Rangers had two sent off away to UFA in 2018.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah, that was
Since
wild.
2008, 2009, 11 Scottish clubs outside of Rangers and Celtic have entered Europe across 54 campaigns, 209 matches, 98 defeats, 51 successive campaigns with zero group stage places earned by winning qualifying ties. But 5-1's always important, and then we rock up.
That is tragic, really.
Unreal.
But thankfully, we have been the ones to have broken that curse. Um, I, in terms of the team, I mean, Wouter Franken only made one change from the side that drew with the Austrians the week before in Gorgie, with James Wilson being rewarded with his wonder goal with a start in the Austrian capital for Landry Cabori. That meant the Hearts lined up in a 4-2-3-1. Borhouse in goal, back four of Jamie McCart at left back, Stuart Finlay and Oisin McEntee in the middle, with Jordi Altena at right back. Blair Spittle and Tom Renault in the pivot ahead of them, with Josh McPake, Claudio Braga, and Calvin Miller supporting the aforementioned James Wilson. On the bench for Hearts, Ryan Fulton, Keenan Wright, Christian Borchgrevink, Pierre Landry Cabori, Sabri Guendouzi, Thomas Magnuson, MJ Kamsin Kamara, Saba Kirjota, Rogers Bato, Amadou Bassi, and Laurent Mendy. Any complaints, Kyver,
No,
regarding the team?
I think, and it was very telling, I think, that everybody kind of just went, yep, that's the team I'd play, which is very, very rare amongst football fans. Obviously, you'll have the every so often somebody will be like, no, actually, I think we should have just drafted in an under 19s just for representation within the team, stuff like that. But generally, the fan base seem to be like, that is the best team that we can put out. I don't know if the first half necessarily showed that, but obviously, by the way, this is a much shorter podcast, and we're not going to do our usual like going through minute by minute all the stuff. We're speaking in generalities here, and in general, I'm glad I missed the first half because I was driving home from work,
Yeah,
basically.
you're a lucky fucker because that was torture. That was bad. It was do you know? I actually thought to myself, is this the worst half so far of Wouter Rankin's
Well,
reign?
it's interesting because we said last week that the first half was the worst half under Rankin, and I just saw loads of people, and my dad said like, no, no, that's now been pipped by the first
Oh,
half last night.
it was awful. Really, really poor. And even kind of before they scored, it had been coming. I mean, after 7 minutes, Borhouse's first into action, a fine stop from Yusuf Demir's long range free kick, get it down to push the swerving effort away before Jamie McCart clears. He comes to rescue again just a minute later, turning Tony Adamson's shot behind after he virtually danced his way through the Hearts defence. But a big blow and kind of the only real negative that we have of the evening. 15 minutes dealt a blow after a quarter of an hour, like I say, when Tom Renault forced off on a stretcher, replaced by Thomas Magnuson. He's obviously been seen in kind of a moon boot on crutches. We're never going to see him again, are we?
I think from the way Rankin spoke about it in the press conference afterwards, it's like it does not look good. I think it's
No.
going to be a minimum of a few months missing. It's one of them where you almost hope it's a break because that's probably going to be a shorter time than ligament damage and stuff like that. But I mean, the dream is that it's like a really heavy twist and that it'll be only out for like a month or so. But I think we now need to prepare for the next few months of life without Tom Renault, which is like, of course, it's Tom Renault, who like we all love and is arguably been the best signing of the summer. Just a disaster.
Do you think that Hearts will opt to sign somebody in that
No,
position? No.
I don't think we
You
will.
you'd be happy with a Blair Spittle, Laurent
I
Mendy,
don't know if I'd
Thomas
be happy,
Magnuson.
but I don't think they're going to. Just because, and it is like the mad situation we find ourselves now in, because Aju's like
Who?
coming back. Exactly. This is what I mean. We cannot rely on this guy. But Rankin's taking them very, very slowly. So I think they'll go. We've got Spittle, we've got Magnussen, we've got Aju, we've got Mendy. We can play Altona in the middle if we want to play
That's a
Borch
good shout.
at right back, but then we don't have cover.
McAtee can play there.
Yeah, Magdi. It's like I think the club will look at the squad and go, no, we cannot add another centre mid into this just for even a few months.
Okay.
The worry is how disastrous the few months could be without him. But as you say, it's the only real negative of the night, apart from the rest of this half. I don't want to focus too much on it, but it's just I very much hope he's okay.
Absolutely. I was just curious because obviously last season we had a certain someone missing through injury, and then obviously the club acted swiftly to replace them in the
Yeah.
January. Could you get something like a Mark
Just
Leonard
get Mark
loan?
Leonard back on loan. Fuck it.
He and Tom Renault both on crutches. It'd be
Yeah,
a sight to behold.
it'll be great. It'll be
But
so good.
could you even do something like until January, something short
I
term, or do you
know
think
it is one of
they're
them.
just
Yeah.
not bother?
You're right. I hadn't actually factored in a loan. I hadn't
It
thought
could,
about the idea of like
but
a
equally,
loan in.
I hadn't thought of Altena and or McEntee possibly
Yeah,
featuring there if need be. I mean, put it this way, we've got that many centre halves on the treatment table. Ocean McEntee might just find himself in there,
I know.
and there's nothing he can do about it. All right, we're right back, and as you say, then Altena goes in.
Yeah.
Interesting. Um, but the worst half of Wouter Rankin's reign wasn't to end goalless with just 10 minutes of the half remaining. The hosts took the lead. Romeo Amane weaved his
I
way through the
think
Hearts
so.
back line before the ball was played across the middle to the unmarked Cara, who stroked home into a virtually empty net. Like I say, it had been coming. It's just a really disgusting, shitty goal to concede, given that it takes a ricochet or two. Oisin McAtee pretty much kind of stabs it back into his path, really, and then you or I could have tucked that away.
Yeah. It just bobbles about for ages.
Yeah,
Like
like
it's
a
just
pinball machine.
we cannot get rid of it basically the whole time. And aye, listen, at that point, I'm thinking we're done. Renault's come off Hart. We're 1-0 down. It's Heart of Midlothian away and Heart of Midlothian away in Europe. We never do anything in these circumstances. But, I mean, Rankin said in his press conference after the game that it was really bad in that first half, that it was really bad. I don't know what he did at half time, but he made that squad of players go, oh, we will walk through any wall you want, Wouter. We'll do this because we just were a different side.
It is mad. Like, I would love to know what on earth they would say. I mean, the club have been quick to kind of post
Yeah.
the post-match celebrations in the dressing room. Be good if they just dropped a wee teaser as to what was said at halftime. How many rockets did he shove up, players' backsides? I would love to know because by God, like after that first half, again, I was sort of in that same mindset thinking, well, if that's to be that, then okay, we might benefit domestically from it. We won't get, grueling Thursday, Sundays. But thankfully, we will have to worry about Thursday, Sundays, as we'll come on to. Hearts would eventually create their first real chance on kind of 38 minutes. Claudio Braga pounces on a loose ball, drives into the box before pulling the trigger, but Nicholas Heddle beats our number 10 shot away. And then Rapid go straight up the park, create an opportunity of their own. Demir, who I thought caused problems throughout, looked really lively, curls a 25-yard shot just wide of Rose's right-hand post. And then the goal scorer, Erkan Kara, then receives the ball at the edge of the box on 40 minutes, back to goal, unable to turn, but thankfully fired straight over the target. Nothing really of note from Hearts other than possibly a kind of McEntee pile driver in added time, and obviously that earlier chance with Braga. What then are you thinking? Is it just a case of, right, let's just chuck on several attacking players? Because to be fair to the gaffer, he actually left it quite late in terms of attacking
Yeah, he
changes.
did.
The only change that he makes pretty much on half time is Christian Borchgrevink coming on for Stuart Finlay.
Yeah, and it's like fair play. I thought, okay, it's an interesting defensive change because he's not very defensive minded, this manager
No.
at all. But it just what like I don't know what he said. I don't know what he said to them because it just, whatever it was, it just made them play like a ranking team because we didn't see any of that in the first half.
No, and equally, we kind of raced out the traps really at the start of the second.
Yeah.
Blair Spittle is obviously a player that neither of us are too fond of, let's just
Yeah.
say. He carried the captain's armband in this game, and he very nearly equalised in unbelievable fashion. Hits a first time volley from 25 yards
Yeah.
that just swerves the wrong side of Heddle's right hand post. I think it was imperative that we needed to see something like that.
Yeah.
I touch on this quite frequently. I think, particularly at Tynecastle, when we're playing a big game, the crowd want to see something of note early doors, be that a tackle, us just kind of flash one over the bar or narrowly past the post. Ideally, score. But if we can't, then, something as good as something to get us up off our seats and kind of take notice. That Spittle effort, I'm not saying it was the catalyst for us getting back into the game, but we had to have seen something because the first half in particular, like we've said numerous times now, was that bad.
But it just shows you the attitude change. The attitude change suddenly
Yeah.
was like, right, okay, you know what? No, we're actually all right. We're a good team and who can cause problems. And it is, yeah, listen, it's an audacious effort that doesn't end up coming to anything, but exactly it's symbolic of what we then would go
It
on to
nearly
do.
did. It's not a million
I know
miles
it's not
away.
a million miles away, yeah, but I, it's unbelievable how important Spittle is to this ranking team.
It's crazy. He loves him as well. I
Yeah,
think the gaffer, not just with the armband here in the absence of both Halkett and Milne,
yeah,
but even being part of this, leadership group that we've spoken about a couple of times and whatever. Um, And in fairness to Blair Spittle, I mean, 10 minutes in, he plays a defence splitting pass for James Wilson to run through onto. And although a rapid player was able to recover, his clearance just flew inches past his own post and behind. That was, again, another instance where you thought, we're not out of this here. Like,
no,
we'll get opportunities to get back into this. Um, and from that resulting corner, I mean, Tam Magnuson heads down for Braga to prod goalwards, but Cara was on hand, the goal scorer, to clear off the line. Again, knocking at the door, and very much like their goal was coming in the first half, it felt as though it was just a complete 180 and that we would find a way back into it, hopefully.
yeah, 100%. We just, again, that fluidity came back that we just hadn't had in the first half. And it is such a clearly defined principle of Rankin's team that when you get going, we're going to cause anybody problems. And it's amazing. I love it so much.
It is just such a breath of fresh air. It is like it's like every element that you're kind of craving
Yeah,
in kind of your own football team. It's easy for us to say as fans because ultimately we can't affect the result of matches as much as we hope and
yeah,
we think we can. But like if you were to essentially kind of draw up characteristics of your perfect manager, Rankin's football is pretty close
yeah,
in terms of style of play and just kind of go gung ho because ultimately, what have we got to lose?
100%. I'd like, obviously, we're jumping ahead. I said it this morning. It's like, it's very easy now for Hearts fans to sit here and go, well, Rankin's obviously an upgrade on McInnes. And people would turn around and go, oh, well, you're obviously saying that because you've just qualified for Europe. I'll say it at the end of this as well. We do not qualify with Derek McInnes as manager. I think tonight has very much
I was
proven
about to
that.
say.
Like, away from everything, away from Rankin's style, away from what he wants his teams, his mentality is the thing that got us through. Mentality is what got us through that. Obviously, individuals were like magical in what
Yeah,
they did, but the mentality of never say die, just we are going to do this. It does not matter what you throw at us, the worst referee I've seen in fucking ages. Everything like that,
he was awful.
terrible. Like
I,
abysmally bad.
and I mean, instances on Josh McPake and Calvin Miller in particular, and we're just playing on. The Calvin Miller one is a disgrace. I mean, his feet are literally swiped out from under him,
Yeah.
and yet nothing comes of it.
Yeah.
Um, Going back to the whole ranking mentality thing, again, like I think he is just showing how far behind Scotland are as a country.
Yeah.
I'm very intrigued to see how his mentality will translate when going to Parkhead, to Ibrox, when facing the two uglies at home, when going to Easter Road. Like again, like I don't think he will give a damn as to who the hell we're playing. It's about what we can do. It's about us implementing our style on the game. It's about our opponents worrying about us as opposed to us worrying about our opponents. Um, so it is again a small sample size, but it's a tiny glimpse and a very exciting glimpse at that as to hopefully what is to come. And
100%.
also, I mean, even in this very competition, I mean, some of the sides that we will come up against are very strong for the third tier of European competition. So, yeah, some mouth-watering ties possibly once the draw is made. This will be out probably by the time the draw
Yeah.
has been made,
Yeah.
so we can't predict the future. We don't know who we're going to get. So if we get, six winnable games, then you've all got us to thank for
Yep.
essentially jinxing
Ajax away, nae bother.
that. I mentioned Yusuf Demir, who I thought caught the eyes throughout. I recognise that name. He's only 23, but he's played for Barcelona,
Yeah.
Galatasaray, Basel, and this mob.
Yeah.
He slips
He's a
Petrodal into the
FIFA. He's a
box
FIFA merchant, isn't he?
and an FM, and
Yeah.
yeah, one of them that you just recognise the name.
Aye.
Um, Slips Petrodal into the box, like I say, but stretching. He fires high and wide of the target. Double sub on 74 minutes. Josh McPake and James Wilson off, Sabah Jota and Landry Kabore on. Um, and just a minute later, we would pass up a glorious opportunity to equalise. But I know what you're thinking. It's not through Kabore. Spittle whips in a free kick to the back post. And Magnuson, oh my God, connects on a diving header. Will we ever see Thomas Magnuson score
No.
a header? I'm going
No.
to wager no.
He can score from 30 yards but can't score from five. Like it makes no sense what is wrong. I have right now in my pocket his head. And for audio listeners, it's a 50p piece. Because what is that, man? That wasn't even set up, by the way. I just remembered as I was saying that I have 50p in my pocket.
It doesn't make any sense, which is why he makes perfect sense.
Yes, correct. A very good way of putting it. I love him, and he should never have been sent off.
No, because a minute later he receives his marching orders for a second yellow, which leaves it all for us to do. I'm going to be honest, I didn't think it was his best night anyway.
No,
However, the first is never a booking in a million years,
no.
but the second is just so silly when on a yellow card.
True, but I also still don't think it is a second yellow.
Do you not?
No, I don't think it is. I think it's one of those that you kind of. I think for this ref, it clearly is. The ref basically gave him a straight
Yeah.
red.
It's one that would usually be kind of bypassed or whatever,
Yeah,
or like a final
a
warning
final
type. Is
one
that what you're?
exactly.
Yeah.
I think the biggest issue is the first one. He gets the ball, like he actually gets the ball.
God, it's so
Ridiculous.
annoying.
And at this
I,
point, you're just like,
I,
well, that's it.
I was feeling a sending off though.
Yeah, I know, but the way that guy
You know
was.
that way, like even the McEntee booking early doors,
Yeah,
you're thinking, oh no.
yeah,
And again, I've kind of spoken to people about this, but like Jordi Altena, as good as he can look offensively, there's instances where his touch might be that bit too heavy, and then
yeah,
his second's a tackle, and you just think it's going to be one of them, isn't it? But it's like, is that rash that this referee will brandish it,
yeah.
a yellow or in this instance a second yellow? Is he our only guaranteed starter for the weekend?
I think so. I don't care how we go to field in 11 on Saturday. I've no idea.
I think it'll just be him and like 10 in the under
Yeah.
18s.
And honestly, I don't think anybody will care.
No, absolutely not. But thankfully, despite their numerical disadvantage, the equaliser came with 10 minutes remaining. An up
Right,
step,
right.
Landry Kabori,
I swear to God.
who gets on the end of a corner to divert the ball home with his chest. And he scores the
Deliberate and
most
all.
Kabori goal
He
imaginable.
does it deliberately. It's not even an accident. The man goes, right, the ball's coming at me at a pretty decent height. I could stoop slightly. I could maybe fling up a leg. No, I'm going to deliberately chest it into the goal. It is fucking insane. What a human being he is.
I
If
love him.
I said it last night. If you say you hate Landry Cabore, you are a fool. Because how can you hate this man? In all seriousness, I don't give a shit what he does for the rest of his Hearts career. Without him, we don't have that moment because he's also
No.
influential in the other goal as well. Like we
I,
literally don't get there without him.
and I was so pleased to see Wouter Franken basically give him
Hmm.
that praise in front of the entire squad. That
Yeah.
that will do wonders for his confidence. Do you know what it kind of reminded me of? Do you remember when Mario Balotelli like shouldered in a goal for
And then
Man
just
City?
stands.
I just yeah,
Yeah.
like that is Kabori is our why always me.
Yeah, that is a good point. And I just love it. Listen, I know we're jumping ahead again. He just makes noise in the celebrations. Everybody else is like singing or going fucking yes. He's just going ah as he's jumping about. I love the man. I love him with all of my heart.
Oh,
I
he's an
don't
absolute
care
madman.
if he does. I almost am tempted to just skip to the goal, the like Miller's goal, because that's the most he's ever looked like a footballer. He does so well to take it down, hold it up, and then feed it to Matto.
Let's just skip to it
Let's just
because
go to it.
again, there's not much that else happens. I mean, Laura Mendy comes on for Braga on 90
Yeah.
minutes, and as you say, Rogers Mato comes off the bench for Blair Spittle.
Why was
They
McInnes
do
not playing this fast little man?
they do flash a header wide,
That doesn't matter.
but like the Mato and Kajota, conundrum
Like it's
for
insane.
want of a better word is really, really puzzling. I mean, the pair of them, and I hate to do it, were on the bench at Parkhead. And
Yes.
instead, we opted to bring on Islam Chesnikov and Alan Forrest.
Yeah. Instead of the fastest man
Why?
alive and a footballer that I think everybody is just in
In awe of.
love with.
Yeah.
Like my dad made the point that there was a moment I think in the second half where he like takes a ball out the sky, like that is just like the most perfect touch, and then he fucks it immediately, and you're like, "That's why you're here, son. That's why you're here." But that first touch should be in Barcelona. Like it's utterly ridiculous. What? Why did he never start?
I don't know.
And
I
I
really
think we're
don't
just
know.
going to say this every week for the rest of time, to be honest, that he's here. But Mato, like, what is the single fastest? I know we said this a couple of weeks ago. He's the single fastest player to ever play for the football club. But the ball he puts in is
Very good.
unbelievable.
I know. I know. Because he slows down. It's the slowest I've ever seen him to
Yeah.
compose himself for the cross. And then he just hooks this inch perfect ball to the back post for a hobbling Calvin
Oh my
Miller,
God.
who is literally his legs just about hanging off as he makes his way into the Rapid Vienna box. And I mean, he just flies and sends a stunning volley into the bottom corner. A absolute wonder goal. And the 10 men have turned the game on its head. It's Rapid Vienna 1, Heart of Midlothian 2.
It's such a good goal. As I say, Kabore is amazing in it. Kabore's so good in it, where he just takes it down, drives, and then feeds it off to Mato. And it's like, what?
The fastest
This
man alive, and then slows down, takes his time with the cross. The finish is tremendous.
it's unbelievable. It'd be unbelievable
A
if he had
great
two
goal.
working legs. Never mind when he had one. And then just,
Muted
oh,
celebration, which, in fairness,
fair.
is perfectly fine because,
Yeah.
again, like I say, your limbs were essentially coming off.
Just unbelievable. Unbelievable. And then you just have like some of the best defensive work we've seen from a Hearts team in years.
Until the
No.
119th. Oh,
Oh
go
no.
on.
Yes. No. I'm getting the order of events wrong. No, you're right. Yes, this does happen first.
Till the 119th minute, as it wasn't to be plain sailing with with 10 men. The hosts equalising late on to send the match to penalties, courtesy of big centre back Nina Svetkovic. Were you going to mention the Borchgrevink block?
Yeah. Is that
Because that's
after
in the
this?
90 minutes. I'm pretty sure that's in the
Oh, of
market.
course it is. Sorry, I forgot. We
It,
completely overlooked
we,
that.
we skipped past it. I'm going to be honest.
Of course it is. Yeah,
I
it
didn't
was at
even
three
realize
each.
at the time that he'd blocked it. When
See,
I
when you
saw,
watch it back, it just looks
yeah,
like the guy hits the post.
exactly. When people were talking about the Borchgrevink block, I was like, have I missed something? Like, I watched the game. How did I not see this
Yeah,
this Borchgrevink block?
it's unbelievable.
Incredible.
It's ridiculous. That's the tie dead. That's it.
Yeah.
That they're
Because
through.
the centre half's got to score. I was
Yeah,
thinking exactly as you say. I was like, how on earth has he missed that?
yeah.
But it's a phenomenal block, and it does just enough to. Oh no! Oh, is it good news?
Things are happening elsewhere in the city that are really great right now.
Go
But
on.
but it's a Belgian team might be 1-0 up, but anything can happen. Sorry to interrupt that.
Not at all. It's still early doors. It's only gone 20 to 9. So
Yeah, exactly. As Hibs went 5-1 and we just look like idiots out here.
plenty of time yet.
But
But
anyway, sorry. We conceded right at the end and I went, that's it. I thought
did
they were
you?
going to win it. I thought they were going to win it then. Because they had that other chance, right? They came forward.
They could have.
Yeah. And I was like,
Yeah.
that's it. They're going to score here. Because I didn't think it would go to penalties. I thought either we were going to win in extra time or they were going to win in extra time. And when they
Oh.
equalised, I went, well,
Oh
that's it.
no. They've still
Yeah.
got time here.
Yeah.
But it did go to pens. I cannot begin
Oh,
to
my
tell
God.
you how pleased I am that Calvin Miller was the first to take a penalty
Yeah.
kick. One of my biggest pet peeves in modern football is teams saving their designated penalty taker to take the fourth
Yes.
or take the fifth. You know, that glory penalty and steal all the headlines. Fucking bollocks to that. Put your strongest taker up first. Hopefully they score, but set the tone of the shootout. And he does exactly that with a perfect penalty. And
It's
again, it's
unbelievable.
one that you don't expect him to execute as well because, as I've said, he was literally hobbling towards the spot.
Listen, fair play to him. Shout out to my dad. He made a great point. Miller's celebration of that penalty is like a wee boy's celebration where he's just
Yes.
laughing at the goalie, where it's like, because of the goalie getting in his face before it, Miller wasn't celebrating the fact that he's potentially helped us through to the Conference League or that he's now scored another goal for Hearts. He's like, I got it up you. Like, you were trying to fuck me up and I put it perfectly past you. And he just laughs running off. Listen, we haven't really mentioned him, to be honest. We just kind of said, that's like a legendary performance now from Calvin Miller. Like, it
Yes.
does not matter what we do in the Conference League. It almost doesn't matter what he does now for the rest of his Hearts career. Everybody is going to remember that time Miller on one leg got us into the Conference League. Like, it's unbelievable. Fair fucks to him. I don't care. I was like, I don't think he's good on the right. Another deep dive bullshit. He's a fucking great player and he cares so much.
And he's essentially paid off 4 times his transfer fee alone. If you think about it, with securing us this, Conference League qualification, that is his transfer fee essentially wiped out. So,
Yeah.
no, as you say, he's basically now just created his own created his own Hearts career off the back of
Yeah.
this very performance.
A
Um,
lovely wee thing, by the way. If you watch that amazing video on the Heart social media account of like, it's
brilliant
like
content,
153 seconds. You and Waddle, what a fucking hero, listens to the show and stuff like that. Love you,
top
mate.
guy.
Um, there's a moment where like Miller's close to the camera and he just goes, "This is fucking amazing." It's like it's such a genuine thing to say. It's not like yes or come on. It's like he's looking up at the fans and he's just like, "This is amazing."
But it must be pretty wild considering the journey that he's been on. I mean, if you go from the likes of Montrose and whatever, like 2 or 3 seasons ago, to now, I mean, basically single-handedly carrying us almost
Yeah.
into this Conference League phase, you must kind of sit back and think as to how far you've come in such a short space of time. I wanted to get the order of the penalties correctly
Yeah.
here. Obviously, as we say, Miller sets the tone, puts us one up. They equalise through Ercan one each. Jordi Altena then puts us 2-1 in front. They peg us back again with Louis Schaub. Rogers Mato steps up third, Great
What a pen,
penalty.
by the way.
Tucks it away 3-2. And then Mulai Haidara steps up for Rapid Vienna. But Big Bo is there to deny him. And I'll be honest, as much as I was celebrating the penalties going in, I literally leapt up off the
Yeah.
sofa for the penalty saves. But in particular, this first one, because oh my God, I was thinking, Borehouse, man. Like, I waxed lyrical. I was accused of being his stalker in our last episode.
You were. Someone did accuse you of that. Yep, that is
I
true.
fucking love that big guy. Honestly, the giant himself. What a man.
Just skip to the rest of the shootout because there's two things I want to speak about. But the main thing is Roos. But I think this is a good save. The second save is unbelievable.
But before that, Saber Kajota puts us on the verge of greatness
Ah, that was
as we
such a
go
fun.
4-2 up. Yusuf Demir, who I've mentioned throughout, pegs us back again. 4-3. Oshin McEntee has the chance to win it. And of all the people that I would expect
Ah,
to just run up to the spot
yeah.
and thunder bastard blast it as hard as he could, I think Oshin McEntee is pretty much top of my list in this Heart squad. Why he's trying to caress it into the bottom corner, I don't know. It ultimately doesn't matter now. But oh
It's a
my God,
terrible
that was
penalty.
horrible. But
It's so
what's
bad.
so annoying is that his performance throughout the 120 minutes was
He
incredible.
was arguably the best player in the park.
And you're thinking, please don't let that just undo that entire 2 hours.
And again, you're just thinking, this is what we do. This is what we do. But listen, I said last week that the reason we were still in this tie is because of Borus. He made two saves, the second of which in the home leg is one of the best saves I've ever seen. I think this might be a top three penalty save I've ever seen a Hearts goalkeeper make. I don't even mean in terms of the importance, I mean the literal technical aspect of it. He not only saves it, he gets two hands to it and pushes it forwards. It's not like he tips it and it's just, he's like, I'm there with time to spare. It is a sensational penalty save. And I feel like we're just going over old ground from last week. I can't believe how incredible this guy is. Everything he does looks so mental all the time. At one point, he like a ball came fizzed across and he could have caught it and he kicked it. Like he cleared it.
Just does not give a fuck. Does what he wants.
He is the Dutch Manuel Neuer like, and I love it. I love it so much.
Is that the one where he denies former Celtic winger Marco Tilio?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Just and listen, I can't really tell you what that felt like to me because you'll know what it felt like if you're listening to this. Like the whole penalty shot, I thought I
Oh,
was either going to pass out, be sick, cry. Like
I hate pens.
I
Like
hate
they're the worst
I
way
hate
to
pens when you're
lose.
watching Morecambe versus Sutton United, right?
Honestly, I know. See when you actually watch it as a neutral and somebody will score to win it. You like that must be a great moment, but equally you can't help but think it's the most fucking gut-wrenching way to lose.
Yeah. And I what do we say about the celebrations? Like it's just some of the best scenes I've ever seen associated with this football club. Wouter Franken outpacing Lawrence
It's a
Shankland on his
beeline
best
for it.
day just
The
somehow
beeline
makes
in
it.
his chinos. What a
Yeah.
man.
Goggsy's doing aeroplane spins. James
Hero.
Wilson ends up at the fans as the first port of call. Calvin Miller doesn't know whether to celebrate or not. Stuart Finlay is lifting Saba Kariota by his shorts into the sky. When we then go over to the fans, as I say, Kabori's blowing kisses to everybody. Rogers Mato's badge thumping. Sabika Yotta's showing more emotion than I've ever seen out of him. Calvin Miller's laughing. Josh McPake falls over at one point and then in the squad photo gets a hand in the face so you can't even see him. Just utter
That was so good.
pandemonium. And we weren't even there. I cannot imagine what it must have. My dad's
Oh,
friend Dickie
I'm
was
so
there.
jealous.
And I think it would be like a top three moment of my life.
Oh, so jealous. I would actually love to know for our listeners that are, a couple generations above, not trying to be rude here, where does that rank in terms of
I
all-time
know.
Hearts European successes? Because obviously we've had, you know, Bayern, we've had Atletico Madrid,
Yeah.
but it's changed times now. I mean, even kind of the budget comparisons, again, I think Scotland's coefficient put them out. It's wild, like their turnover in comparison to ours.
Oh, I did see that. Did I
I,
save
I
that
I'm
actually?
I'm trying to get it up here. So, oh no, sorry, I tell a lie. Nere's Toe Poker was the
Yeah,
one that
so
posted it.
I. Yeah.
So the most recent annual turnover figures of Hearts and their European opponents this season. Ours is £24.4 million. Sturmgratz's is 80.75 million. Benfica's is 238 million. Rapid Vienna 52.6.
Just insane.
Mental.
Unbelievable.
So good. And now just extra European matches to look forward to. It was a win-win for us, really.
Yeah.
But I am glad that it was this side of the winning,
Yeah.
if
And
that makes any
I am
sense.
telling you now, we can get into the knockouts. I'm telling
Oh,
you
it
now.
should have, a couple of seasons ago.
Should have with a worse manager, a worse squad, everything like that. Like basically, if you get two
Hopefully not worse
wins,
opponents.
yeah, if you get two wins, you're probably all right. I think from pot five and pot six, we can get two wins. And then you might get a draw somewhat, a shock draw against someone.
That's the projected ones though, isn't it? So
Of course,
it's not like they're
absolutely.
confirmed, and
No,
there'll
it could
obviously
all
be a
change
bit of kind of fluctuation and whatever.
100%. But I'm so happy for that squad. As you mentioned, Rankin's like team talk he gives at the end.
Great content. Top work. As is the tweet to obviously bait
Brilliant.
Celtic. Just absolutely magnificent. Whoever the admin is deserves a pay rise.
Fuck off, Sturm, by the way, quote tweeted us. Fuck
Saw
off.
that. Yeah, fuck you.
You're in the Europa League. Deal with it.
Hope they get pumped.
Listen, so many idiots questioned Rankin when he first came in the media. And
Oh, there's some in the mainstream media that are already writing up apologies. I can assure
yeah,
you of that.
exactly. And listen, we have obviously referenced it. And 2 hours ago, as we record this, Rangers have had their most embarrassing result in Europe ever, right? As they get knocked out. I think McInnes genuinely might get sacked now. I think there is
I
a
was
real
actually going to have a
possibility.
look and see if they've posted anything.
I think there's a
They've
real
posted his
possibility.
interview as of a minute ago, but yeah, not got time for that currently in
I
this
think there's a
recording.
real
So.
possibility he gets sacked. I don't know if he actually will, but I think there's a real. I wouldn't be surprised at all if he
Oh,
doesn't.
there's absolutely a possibility he does, given their
Yeah,
start, and obviously the two Celtic games coming up, one in the cup, one in the league.
yeah.
I mean, you wouldn't be surprised if after the pair of them, he's already out the door.
If the roles were reversed, Rankin would already be dead in the eyes of the Scottish media. That would be it.
Oh,
It would just be
100%.
like it would
But
just be he should
he
go.
wouldn't have been given a chance to begin with, though,
No,
McIver.
that's very true. But it's like get it fucking up every one of them because this is like Franklin got beat by a team in the Champions League qualifiers, and folk act like we got beat off Montrose. It was embarrassing. It was pathetic. It was ridiculous at the time. But even more so now that we've grown. What Franklin's been the manager for like 6 weeks, and we've already just come on leaps and bounds. I said it
And
earlier. We do not qualify like that under McInnes. We just don't.
no, and that's what I was going to say when you were talking about the Champions League games there. It's amazing to see now what's happened after a couple of weeks when you've seen the way that he wants to play, players receiving messages and ultimately buying into the manager's style of play. If only we'd have had a better preparation in pre-season to maybe, try and implement this earlier than when we actually did.
Yeah. I'm so happy for him. Listen, as we say, St Johnson on Saturday, I have no idea what form a team is going to put out, but I genuinely
I'll
don't
tell
think
you what,
anybody cares.
I don't think either of us will feel as confident regarding our scorelines now. I'll
No,
take a 1-0 and get the hell out of there.
100%. But just for me, that is one of the best nights I've ever had as a Hearts fan. It's the most excited I've ever been for Europe. And I'm just so happy for every single person involved.
Perfectly put. And obviously, by the time this is out, the draw will have been made. So prior to that, any preferences as to where the hell Hearts end up?
I would love it if we got like Ajax at home. I would
Ajax would be
love that.
amazing.
That would be so cool. To just, I mean, we
Because
get
they'll
beat 9
alternate home
nil,
and away now,
but
won't they?
yeah,
It's not like
so
we can go.
it'll be
So if
three
you,
and
so you'd
three.
rather Ajax at Tynecastle than us going to Amsterdam?
Yeah, because I won't be going to Amsterdam. I'd like to say I've seen Ajax. I don't care if we get beat 9
Yeah.
nil. I'd like to say we got beat by Ajax, basically.
Yeah, we could go to the arse end of nowhere. We could end up in fucking Estonia and
Yeah,
I
I
don't
did
know,
care.
whatever the hell
Larn.
else.
Like, great, enjoy your trips, boys. I'm not going on any of them. I want Brighton.
Will you
I
ferry
want
over?
Brighton.
No. Bright-
I want Brighton.
Brighton down there or up here?
No, at Tynecastle, and it just be four stands celebrating every goal that goes in, regardless of who scores it. Just polite golf applause and everybody shaking hands. It'll be there'll be no segregation. Brighton fans will be in with us. We'll all just be chanting for Tony Bloom, and it'll be class.
It'll be I'm thinking back to when Dave Mackay had passed and his face was kind of in the centre
Yeah,
circle at Tynecastle. Will it just be Tony Bloom?
yeah, it'll just be Tony
Tony
Bloom.
Bloom's mug in that centre
Yeah.
circle.
What about you? Who do you want?
Um, oh, I don't know because obviously I I'm not going to make many trips given I have a wedding to pay for.
Yeah,
So finances are a bit tight, folks. So yeah, I'm kind of hoping that we avoid Atalanta away because that would have been a great trip.
yeah.
I don't know. Again, I'm sort of with you. If we have to play Ajax, I'd probably rather it at home. I'll have severe FOMO for ages if we end up drawing them in Amsterdam.
Yeah.
Um, Benfica and Lisbon's already bad enough.
Yeah.
And Vienna, obviously now. Yeah, I don't know. Brighton would be interesting.
Right.
I mean, that
The
would be,
world's news would be on it like a fucking
yeah,
shot.
they would on, on it like a tramp on chips.
Exactly.
Yeah, I don't know. Trabzonspor would be cool. Mo
Salah
Salah
rocking up to
coming to Tynecastle.
Tynecastle.
Well, it'd be rather embarrassing given that he looked absolutely finished in the Premier League before he,
He'll put 9 past us
batters a hat trick
himself.
past us exactly. Um, and again, that's another game that you want rather than nipping over to Turkey. Jesus.
Jeez.
Yeah, I don't know. It's nice knowing that you can just sit back and relax and just be happy with whoever we get.
Totally.
It's the tiny wee things like this that make it. Like just even seeing our name pop up and then just I don't know. People have to realize who the hell we are and where the hell
Yep,
we come from.
exactly. Well, thank you so much for listening and watching along. We hope you have enjoyed it as much as we have enjoyed making it. I will be honest, it's been really nice to make an emergency podcast that isn't a disastrous reason because the only time we've ever previously made them is for bad
Brora?
reasons. Brora is the main one, yes. But now it's like a class reason. So thank you so much for listening. If you have enjoyed it, please leave us a review on your podcast platform of choice. If you've been watching us on YouTube, please like, comment, and subscribe. Thanks, by the way, for all that. Obviously, if you saw it, did a very quick, immediate reaction that went up, and it seems to have gone down very well. Some people, like Hibs fans, have jumped to it and be like, it's embarrassing. Well, halftime so far. Let's see what happens. But thank you so much for all the support on that. We are Perth to Paisley on all the socials if you want to watch that. perthtopaisley@gmail.com if you want to fire us over an email. Adam, where can they get you on all the socials?
You can get our pre-draw thoughts or post-draw thoughts at Adam T Kennedy 98.
We'll be back at some point next week to discuss the fallout from the St Johnstone game and preview the derby. We don't quite know yet because the derby got moved to a Thursday, so
Fucking
there's going to be
What is that?
at some point you're getting a lot of content out of us in these last 2 weeks, right?
I was going to say the SPFL did so well in allowing our European teams the weekend off, and then they've just completely undone all that nice work the following week with
Yeah.
games galore. But never mind.
But until we next see you, thank you. Bye bye.
Come on the Hearts!